Hey there. Do you remember the young lady, JonBenet Ramsey, that was murdered? Well, this is a chart analysis of her father, and it's just basic. So if we look at this chart and we want to find out about his children, we're going to look to the fifth house because the fifth house always tells us about children. That's in anybody's chart. And in this chart, in his chart, the ruler of the fifth house is Saturn. And because this is a night chart, because the sun is below the horizon, we know that Saturn is the malefic out of sect. So it is the most difficult planet in his chart. Now, if you want to know the outcome of a house, so in other words, if we want to know the outcome of Saturn, which is children, and it's other things as well, but because we're looking for children, we are going to focus on children. If we want to know the outcome, we have to look at the planet's state of health to indicate what the outcome of all fifth house topic matters will be. And in this case, it's the worst planet in his chart. It's the malefic out of sect. It's Saturn. So it's telling us right now that in regards to children, this will be probably the most difficult thing on and off throughout life he'll have to deal with, which really is true. Did you know that he had a daughter, I believe, that passed away before she did? So this person has a lot of problems in regards to the fifth house topics. Saturn is in an angle house, in the 10th house. And what is it next to? It's right next to the other malefic in astrology, which is Mars. Mars and Saturn are the two malefic planets in traditional astrology. Mars can be more productive, but it still is a malefic. And it's right there in the same house as Saturn. So it's a double whammy. In addition, we know, well, Saturn is also in an angle house. And any planets in angle houses, which would be 1st, 10th, 7th, or 4th, are going to give you a lot of exposure. They're going to produce what they produce at 100%. Other houses, you'll get the result of a planet at a lesser percent. But in this case, you're getting full force, 10th house. And not only that, but it's his outward image, meaning the planets in that house are going to be tied in somehow to his outward image. And if you look at those planets and you see that the malefic out of sect is there, you need to follow it to where it belongs. It's to what zodiac sign it rules. In this case, it's the 5th house of children. It also rules the 6th house of illness. So who knows if there's something tied in together. Anyway, so we know that Saturn rules the 5th and 6th house. Saturn represents a lot of things in a chart, but one of them is death. And Mars represents a lot of things in a chart, or Mars can be a lot of things in a chart. And one of them is violence. So when you put those two together, you definitely have death and violence. And I think that daughter died in a car accident, which is pretty violent. Anyway, but do you see how we look at this chart and it looks like a bunch of planets and houses, which it is, haha. But if we want to know about children, we go right to the 5th house. We see right away ruled by Capricorn. So we know it's ruled by Saturn. Saturn rules Capricorn. And we know that this is a night chart. So we know right away Saturn is the most difficult planet in the chart, and it's over his 5th house of children. All right, let's go a little bit further. All right, we see that his rising sign is Virgo, and Mercury rules Virgo. So the helmsman, or the manner in which his life will be lived out, will be through the helmsman Mercury, and it's in the 4th house of home. Now, wherever the planetary ruler of the ascendant is, that's the final destination of a lifetime. You have to think of it that way. So, what it means is that the life is working towards ending up in the 4th house. So, a person's life is always working towards wherever the planetary ruler of the ascendant is located. And it's, in this case, the way that it's working is through a Virgo type way. All right, so Helmsman Mercury is in the 4th house of his home. Now, the 4th house ruler, let's look at the 4th house. We know that the 4th house is your private home life, your parents, your upbringing, but it's really your home, your children. I mean, it's not the children per se, but it would be where you exist with your family and children. This 4th house has a has a Sagittarius zodiac sign over it. And we know that Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So where is Jupiter? Because Jupiter's location needs to be combined with the 4th house. And Jupiter's location is in the 12th house, which is a really difficult house in traditional astrology. And in addition, because this is a night chart, Jupiter is a benefic, but it's the benefic out of sect. So it means it can be too much of a good thing. So too much. So in this house, we know that the 12th house rules suffering, it's the house of your own undoing. And you have Jupiter that expands things. So without a doubt, suffering for this man is expanded and more than usual, in my opinion. So we look at the 4th house of family, home, your personal life, your where you go to find your peace, your home, and we have to find where the ruling planet is of Sagittarius, the zodiac sign, to give us more information. And we found it in the very difficult 12th house, as well as being a benefic out of sect, so we could get the difficult side of a benefic. And that really kind of sums up a little bit about his life. So I hope you enjoyed this. Bye.